I made a mistake. I made a big mistake. There's no 5-0 for me today. I don't know if I would have won anyway, but... Oh, wait! Wait, what? Wait, what were the dot shields? Oh my gosh. Okay, I guess I do end the stream on a 5-0. Wait, what the heck? Why would they not shield that? Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. Today we have hit Legend in GBL for the season, and it was in Retro Cup. And overall, the team I used was actually a lot of fun. I climbed about 400 elo in 4 days, so really solid team in my opinion. And the real secret to this is Como-O. So the team I ran was a Lantern, Como-O, and Lickitung in the back. Como just becomes really safe in this meta, especially without any steel and fairy types. There's a lot of other dragons that also benefit from this, like Altaria, Dragonair, and Kingdra, but I think Como is one of the better ones just because of the typing and being able to really hit hard with that close combat. If you don't have a Como, you can replace it with a Hakamo or a Dragonair, so those are definitely solid options. I'll definitely show you how to play out this team with the Como. Before we get into the battles, a big shout out and thank you to all my patrons who've been supporting my content creation. If you would also like to have early access to my strategies and lineups, or see behind the scenes footage of my battles, feel free to sign up in the Patreon link down below. Alright, getting into this first battle here, we have a Lickitung lead. Not a great lead for Lantern, but we're going to swap straight away to Como, and it's such a strong safe swap. You pretty much never swap the Lickitung, you always safe swap the Como. You really can beat a lot of things if they just aren't properly prepared for it, like Froslass. So of course you need to work on your optimized charging timing, but if you are able to get it done right, you can even take it out just because of how much damage the Dragon Tails do, even for neutral. And we're getting some solid chip damage here, and it makes a lot of sense why my opponent gave up switch manage, because they have two things that beat Lantern in the back. So this is not the easiest lineup for Lantern, but you really just want to rely on the bulk of the Lickitung and the Lantern to overcome a lot of really not so great matches. And we farm up to almost 100 NG and swap to end up catching a Body Slam, which really works in our favor. I'm probably going to shield the Power Whip here. Arguably Chesnaught also is worth shielding, but I decided to go for the shield and the Power Whip. That way they can't just go straight Body Slam against me right now. And they go for another Body Slam, and here comes the Cresselia, and we actually, I believe, CMP here, which is really important because we force them to expend a lot of their energy without coming away with any extra. And yeah, it takes us out, but we have a bunch of energy stored on the Lickitung, which is going to come in handy. Get a little extra lick energy off of that Cresselia at the end, and then we just have to get to double Body Slam, and we'll be okay. We get to the first one, and we should be good on this second one. So yeah, really tough backline matchup, but again, ensuring that the Lantern does not face off against Cresselia for too long by winning switch or Como definitely came in handy. Another core breaker here is that Dunsparce, and in this situation I like to go straight for the close combat. If you can land it, you can shield and farm down, which is really nice. If you don't land it, then you just give a switch and bring in the Lantern to farm down all the way. But you grab a shield off of them, so it's still very worthwhile. So we're able to grab switch advantage, but Dunsparce is a core breaker, is able to beat Lickitung and Lantern. However, we do avoid the Lantern versus Dragonair matchup, which is definitely much worse for that Lantern. And all things considered, you much rather have the Lantern on the Dunsparce in this situation because you at least do neutral damage with your fast moves, whereas they're resisted with the lick damage from Lickitung. Alright, I'm going to throw a Thunderbolt here. It does end up getting shielded, so I do need to shield here and get another one off. After this, I should put it close to Body Slam range. Not quite yet, but you know, we're going to have to tank a draw run either way. And I'm going to overfarm a little bit, expecting the potential catch. Here comes a Body Slam. I'm going to farm as much as possible, come close to that back-to-back Body Slam, and just barely enough to get this Body Slam off. Is it enough to knock out the Dunsparce? And it is. So again, despite really bad leads, you still do a lot with this team. I'm showing you all a lot of bad leads in core breakers. Of course, if you run into like Froslass lead, Noctowl, you know, some water leads like Jellicent, you're chilling. But I just want to show that this team can do really, really well even in bad situations. Alright, so I'm going to let the first move go because there's some Cresselia that aren't even running Grass Knot. I think most still are. Some might be just running Grass Knot Future Sight instead of Grass Knot Moonblast. But I'm able to CMP on against this Cresselia on this Grass Knot, which is huge for me. Because playing on the one shield, this leaves it in lick range and they actually undercharge. And because that undercharge, I get to another serve. So not only am I coming away with a shield advantage in a bad matchup, but yeah, it really sets me up for success in the back end because you really would just want to avoid that Cresselia with that Como. That's why you're forced to stay in. And, you know, we don't have the matchup we really want here. Como is much better against Lickitung. But, again, especially with the shield advantage, you can do quite a bit with the Como. And I'm just going to throw the Dragon Tails back to back. There's no real need to try to farm down. The main problem for my opponent is they have to throw a Body Slam to take out my Como. And because the Dragon Tail damage is really adding up, this Lickitung mirror matchup is really just whoever has more health in the end typically wins, unless the other one has a lot more energy. And they don't have that much energy because they had to throw to get rid of my Como. I think Chex wants to go, which I understand because this is kind of a long mirror matchup. You want to head out? She's out of here. But yeah, my opponent is going to go Power Whip. Power Whip is less energy efficient, but does do more damage. I probably wouldn't recommend throwing it that early, especially the back-to-back. Probably could get off maybe 2 Body Slams, 3 Body Slams in that same duration, but we were able to win that matchup despite the really tough lead. All right, and now we have a Jellicent here, and this is going to be pretty good for me because they don't have a clear answer. They actually come in Froslass. I do shield the Shadow Ball because it's going to do a lot more than the Shadow Ball from the Jellicent, and we're going to throw back-to-back Surf. I don't personally like to throw Thunderbolt here. 2 Surfs is usually enough anyway, so there's really no need to spend energy on a Thunderbolt and a Surf. That's just 2 extra sparks. We end up catching a Shadow Ball, which is very nice for me. And then they come in Vigoroth. So definitely one of the harder checks to this Lickitung. But we have Lantern for the Froslass, for the double ghost in the back, which can be quite nice. And we actually get to another move, so almost able to knock out the Vigoroth, forcing it to spend the last shield. So that's actually very nice for me. I'm coming Como and just try to Dragon Tail down. No need to shield this because Lantern's really the MVP for us in the back line. They have a ton of energy, so I ended up catching a Bison. I thought I was going to be able to spark down here, but that's okay. We do have to shield this potential Shadow Ball. And then now we get to a move against the Lantern. And we have energy still on the Como, which is fine. I'm actually going to throw the Surf because I just want that chip damage and force them to kind of get a little anxious and having to throw the move because you can see they're almost in spark range at this point. And we have the... Yeah, we didn't have the move on the Como, but able to just Dragon Tail down. Alright, Milotic. This is kind of an interesting one. I haven't really seen too many of these, but definitely kind of a tough one for my team. In the right situation. Obviously, I had the right lead there, so we're okay. And against Dragonair safe swaps, typically speaking, I just don't shield and just try to grab both shields from them. Well, no, I had to shield 1, yeah, if I want to maintain alignment. So they're going double shield, and actually throw here. So they actually threw before. They probably could have dragged Breath down, but they probably just lost track of where my energy was at. We do have switch advantage though. Or we don't have switch advantage, but we have shield advantage. Ends up being a Abomasnow in the back. This is definitely a core breaker for my Lantern and my Como, so I'm kind of glad I don't have switch advantage. I have shield advantage because I need a shield advantage to take out this Abomasnow. Barely hanging on and surviving the energy ball, which is really nice for me because it puts this in probably Dragon Tail range. Yeah, so we're going to Dragon Tail all the way down because I need energy for this Milotic. And I was trying to go for the Dragon Claw and Close Combat because I don't think 1 Close Combat's enough. Unfortunately, we CMP here, so 1 Dragon Tail short. But yeah, definitely an interesting team for my opponent there, which definitely caught me off guard. All right, Haxorus. So not only is this a Dragon Tail Haxorus, but most importantly, this is going to be a triple Dragon team. Definitely something you see quite a bit in this cup, mainly because nothing resists dragon damage, so it's actually very, very strong combination. The 3 dragons specifically kind of varies. Typically speaking, it's Dragonair with Altaria and then a third dragon, something like Kingdra. This time my opponent is running Haxorus. So when I saw this Dragonair come out, I'm feeling pretty good because Dragonair is actually really strong into Lantern. So I'm just hoping that they have the Altaria in the back because Lantern has a little bit more play into Altaria. And it ends up being the Altaria. So I think if my opponent actually saved the Dragonair for the Lantern and came in Altaria into my Lickitung, they probably would have won this. But because they saved the Altaria in the back and they were taking neutral damage from the Electric, and I resist the Sky Attack too. I mean, they were trying to bait me for shields, of course, but I'm in a really good spot. Because now this is a lot more manageable. I'm going to just save my shield for that Lickitung to get to that final body slam. I know they don't get to 2 Sky Attacks in this duration, and we're able to take it out. So even against Triple Dragon, you have play. I know it's definitely one of the harder team compositions with this team, but it's still really, really strong into it. All right. So, Lantern, I like to throw on the Psychic. If you throw before the Psychic, sometimes people try to catch on the Dragonair. Because we CMP here, I figure out at least who's going to win CMP, who's not going to, but also we guarantee the damage. So what I do for Lickitung safe swaps is I throw a Thunderbolt or Surf, chip it down enough so I can come in and mirror. And again, if you have more health coming into this, you just win this matchup, right? Yes, they have more energy, but as you can see, the energy just does not, the extra energy doesn't actually equal out and take out my Lickitung in time. So we should definitely win this mirror matchup unless they spend shields. Sometimes people will pivot back out because to their Medicham because timers have misaligned. It looks like my opponent is not going to. Actually, no, they do. Actually, very last second. So they do leave probably with the body slam, but because of this, I can come in with my Lantern and they don't shield the Medicham. So they're up a shield. I have no idea what their third Pokemon is. Ends up being their own Lantern. I'm actually going to throw a Surf here. It's very high likely that they're going to shield. And so me throwing Surf forces them to not overfarm as much. Otherwise, if I throw a Thunderbolt gets shielded, they could farm a little extra. But I'm in a really good position at this point because now I have the Como locked in against Lantern. And something you might ask is, why didn't I come into Lickitung with my Como? And the main reason being, you don't want to have to spend shields to maintain alignment, especially because I spent a shield earlier. I guess I was potentially trying to catch here, but that's fine. We ended up taking out a Lickitung that might have had a body slam, so that kind of works out. There's no way the Lantern takes me out. And the other reason being, sometimes you're trying to bait out your fighter, right? This or Dragon, in this case, my Como was much better into that Lantern than the Lickitung. Como into Lickitung is really awkward because you kind of have to land the close combat to take it out. Otherwise, you might have to shield even potential body slam. All right, another counter user, Deoxys Defense. Again, Medicham and Deoxys Defense, they're kind of neutral matchups into the Lantern. The main reason you don't want to swap out, or at least right away, is because they both just are so good into that Como. Lickitung is not too bad. But we forced them to throw the energy and we're up with shields. But this is kind of the strategy that I did last game, but my opponents are playing against me, is to chip down the Lickitung and so that you can maintain switch advantage with your own. So yes, they're down shield, but they're able to easily win this mirror matchup. I'm just going to keep throwing body slam here. Yes, power whip is more damage, but if I could force them to throw the energy sooner, that's going to be better, right? You could say like, oh, well, if you just threw body slam and then power whip, you've been fine. But see, now I'm forcing my opponents to spend their energy here rather than be able to lick me down because they know they can't. And almost getting a full Dragon Tail down. Unfortunately, they do get to another move. However, I have a lot of energy. And I believe the Deoxys Defense is dry on energy, which is why, yeah, unfortunately, forced to shield Surf because I'm just way too low in health. But because they're dry on energy, I knew that I could optimize the timing there and throw a Dragon Tail if need be before they're coming in, so I didn't have to throw a blind move there. They end up throwing Rock Side, and they end up shielding, which is really nice for me because I know I have to move ready on the Como. I think it was CMP here, so I think they just got the Psycho Boost. But shields are down, we're able to finish it off, and yeah, we can Dragon Tail down the Lantern. Shadow Victreebel, a terrible lead, but again, Como, a very strong safe swap, able to grab shield advantage or flip alignment quite a bit. So, we do have a decent amount of Dragon Tail lead here, and now I'm just going to be able to Dragon Tail all the way down. They come in Victreebel, and we throw the Dragon Claw, and they finish me off. But that's fine, because now we have alignment. I'm kind of worried about the Leaf Blade here, so I decided to shield. Ends up being Acid Spray, which is not ideal. But it is what it is. We do still get the Body Slam off, and they we grab a shield back, so that's kind of nice. And then they have their own Lantern in the back. This is a little dicey because they have an energy lead, so they're going to get that second Thunderbolt before I get to my second Thunderbolt. So the most important thing is I need to be able to survive their second Thunderbolt to get off my respective Thunderbolts. But let's see, yeah, and we barely survive, and we just get it off. IVs definitely matter here, and we are able to take out their Lantern, and they're going to concede right there. So even against really bad leads, you still have a lot of play. Speaking of bad leads, another bad lead, Chesnaught. Definitely not something you see very often. I think the only one I saw. But I think it's a very interesting team composition, so let's see how it plays out. So they do come in with the Dragonair. The unfortunate part is Lantern is really bad into this as well. So my guess is Lantern is actually probably very good into the third Pokemon. But we're going to do what we can to like farm this down. Unfortunately, I'm not really going to shield my Lantern because I don't have alignment. And so even though it's going to be good potentially into a third Pokemon, it's just I just can't really get that matchup. However, Lickitung seems to be decent too. So we're going to shield, and unfortunately we shield 2 Frenzy Plant instead of Superpower. Superpower is definitely what I want to get shielded, but because it'll debuff my opponent. But they do go for the double bait with the Frenzy, and then ends up being a Superpower to finally land on my Lickitung, which does quite a bit of damage. We're going to go for the combo play here, see if we could take out this Lantern, and then we get to another Surf as well. So it's going to be kind of close, because the Chesnaught has a bit of energy. Can I get to Body Slam? And it was on CMP, Charging Priority. So, tough lead, but we kept it close, so I'll take it. I think it was still a very interesting matchup overall. I think maybe if I let a Frenzy Plant, no, I don't know. I think even if I let Frenzy Plant go and then Shield Superpowered, it doesn't change anything. I still don't survive that final Superpower. But Froslass lead, very, very nice. And this is what I was saying, where some players may just choose to fight for Switch. Actually, no. In this situation, I definitely want to maintain Switch. Yeah, it looks like I can't, though. Yeah, Shadow Dragonair is kind of nuts. Unless you match shields, and, you know, I spent 1 less shield, you can't really win that matchup. But Como, again, up a shield can do decent into Froslass. So let's see what they have in the back. They probably aren't going to come in their Froslass into this, so I get a C, and it's... I actually can't see what it is. What did they come in with? Oh, Deoxys Defense. Alright, yeah, so this is actually kind of tough. Deoxys Defense is definitely a counter for my Como O. So we're going to throw the Close Combat. It's going to do more damage than Dragon Claw, even though resisted. I ensure that it takes out the Froslass. And I go for the Dragon Claw here. Maybe I should have gone for the Close Combat again, because again, it does a little bit more damage. But we do force a Psycho Boost, and we just barely get to the Surf. Psycho Boost does help me a ton there because they have resisted counters and able to win out that match despite how bad it looked. I'll show a clip from my Patreon stream where I hit Legend as well, but today I went on a tear running this team. Yeah, this team is killing it. I started playing this team at like 2600s, right? Like a few days ago, and then we climbed almost 400 points with it. Okay, Core Breaker, but we're not worried. 1, 2, 3, 4. Really? They're staying in. Wonder why. This is really good though. Dragon Tail damage really helps. It also burns down the switch timer a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we want CMP here. It's a little awkward. I think I'm just going to shield here. I don't know. I don't really get too much value here, but they probably shield this. So my play is I need to spark this down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, they're trying to throw on CMP. That's fine. They're 2. They're not going to get to another move. Unless they swap out here. So, Dunsparce is energy dry. I need energy here for sure. And hopefully they come in Dunsparce. If they come in like Lickitung or something, I'm kind of in a tough spot. But that's kind of a weird line. 1. Alright. Well, I think they're 2 rollouts away, right? Hmm. 1, 2, 3. Do I swap out? Do I assume they're going to optimize? Nah, it's too risky. I'm just going to go here. They might have something. They should have something weak to Lantern / Lickitung in the back. So this is still a pretty good spot. 1, 2. Oh, let's go. Ah, love to see it. That's a 5-0 to Legend. Yeah, this team is really solid. I went 5-0 this morning. I went a 5-0, 4-1, and then now another 5-0. Kind of crazy, actually. Let's go. That was fast? Yeah. Right? Pretty fast. But yeah. Let's go. That's a pretty solid run. Nice. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope the team is something you end up trying, because I think it's a ton of fun to play and it's really, really strong in this meta. Thank you all for watching. If you like this video, feel free to give it a like and share, subscribe for future content, hit that notification bell to get alerted right when I post a new video, and I'll catch you all next time.